Good afternoon and welcome to the Guy Dawson Show on WCOBM.com. You can always check us out every single week, out every Thursday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My name is Corintha Tervalon, and I'm here to interview Guy Dawson of Classy Communications. And we are. What, do you have a title? I have a title. I am the queen of all media. So if I'm a queen of all media, what does that make you?
I'm just the guy that shows up and makes sure that the lights. Make sure that we have a show.
I'm just going to call him Boss, because I don't know what else to call him.
Hey, I always give out the names. I don't even know what's ever given me anything. But Boss is not it, you know. But I'm here.
Well, when I say boss, I mean that in a good way.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
well, if it's in a good way,
like
positive,
leader, I'm a
in a
boss.
positive way, yes.
You own your business. You own. You own your process. So that's actually what we're here to talk about today is Classy Communications, where if you have any of your PR marketing needs, you can reach us at www.classycommunications.net.
Yes.
Yes. And what's the phone number, Guy?
702-845-6129.
That's right. So without further ado, Guy, Classy Communications, what is it all about? We always hear an intro about it every single week about marketing and PR, but what is it that you specifically focus on in your PR and marketing?
So, Corintha, Classy Communications is a public relations and advertising company that I started in 2008, and it is a platform to help people leverage the power of media in different forms in order to bring recognition to their business and increase sales. And we started out just as a traditional public relations and advertising company back then. There wasn't a lot of social media or anything back in 2008 when we got started. And we would do the traditional things that PR firms do, write press releases, articles about businesses, help them with appearances on the radio, television, and things like that. And through the years, the company has evolved into leveraging different types of platforms to be able to promote our clients. So we have, of course, this show is one of our channels that we promote people through. I also have a radio show called PR Connections and another one called PR Connections, the Business Edition. And so we decided that we would incorporate these specific channels to ensure that our customers get publicity. And we really niched into promoting business more than anything else. I've had clients through the years in a lot of different businesses, but different areas. I've had actors and musicians, different people that I've worked with, but I've found that representing business for me and my vision of what the company is all about and the people that I work with, that's what we really are excited about. We want to make your business more successful, and we've got a lot of tools to help you with that.
Excellent. So you spoke a little bit about some of the social media that you use, different platforms. What are the specific ways? So if I'm Joe Blow Business and I come to you and I say, help, I need marketing and PR. Help!
I get a lot of those phone calls.
Yes. How do you react to that? Because I remember when we first started working together, and one of the things that I really appreciate about your approach is that you specifically said, a lot of times folks don't even know what they need in terms of their marketing and PR needs, and it's up to you as the PR person, the publicist, the marketing person to basically guide them in the process of customizing what they need for their businesses that's going to work for them, for their budget, for their needs. How do you approach that?
Yeah, Corintha, that's a great question. What I've learned through the years is one of the biggest challenges that businesses have, and ultimately a lot of the failure rate in businesses, there's a lot of reasons why businesses fail, but what I've seen a lot is just a lack of people even knowing that you're in business. And a lot of people, they have an idea for a business that they want to run, some type of an entrepreneurial endeavor that they want to do, and what happens is a lot of times they just don't know how to get the word out about it. They don't know how to market. They don't know how to they know that social media is important, but they don't really understand how to make it work, how to brand themselves and keep themselves in front of people, because that's the thing, Corintha. You can have the greatest business in the world, and there's a lot of people that I've met in my 9 years in business in PR and advertising who have had really good businesses, but if no one knows that you're in business, you can't sustain your business, because you can't keep enough money coming in to be able to sustain it. And so that's really my responsibility, and the people that work with me like you, is our responsibility is to bring clarity first with people, with the marketing and PR. First, we have to figure out what your objectives are, what you want to do, what is the purpose of your business. It really starts at the most basic level. Then we talk about things, what's worked for you in the past. Some of these businesses are so new they don't even have a track record of things that have worked. And if it's a business like that, where you don't even have a track record, where you don't have anything for us to measure against, then we have to really look deep inside of your industry to see what's worked for other people. You know, one of the things with me, Corintha, is I don't try to reinvent the wheel. And I know I tell you this a lot. I think it's a waste of time. Being a pioneer is a waste of time. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are saying, what do you mean it's a waste of time to be a pioneer? Aren't these people, all these people who we would consider pioneers, aren't they the ones who set the tone? And you know, very few people are really pioneers of anything. They've just figured out better ways to do things. They figured out a different approach. And that's what I do with a lot of my clients, is I just look and see what's worked for other people in their industry, and I just share some of the things that I've learned working with a lot of different businesses through the years, and we find what works and we just hit on it and hit on it and hit on it, and we don't try to be fancy. And I know there's a lot of times, Corintha, people think about marketing companies and PR companies, and they think about things like the Super Bowl commercials, where these businesses spend millions and millions of dollars to have their commercials broadcast. But you have to realize that those types of companies have $100 million budgets.
Oh, yes.
That allow them to do that. Most businesses just don't have. It's not about being tricky. So they can afford to be creative and tricky, and because that's just a part of their branding budget. For them to spend $2-3 million on a commercial for the Super Bowl, that's just peanuts. They're publicly traded companies where they have cash flow that's coming in constantly. Most businesses don't have that. And so for those types of businesses, we want to be really smart about the way that we do things.
Absolutely. And one of the areas that I really feel like is so important, and that I'm very, very happy that you support, because I like to support them also, is your work with nonprofit organizations. I think that's so important because, you know, I think in the marketing and PR world, there's so much focus on, you know, let's focus on these businesses that make money so that they can make me money. And it's a very kind of selfish way to go about your business. And I feel like your approach is very different. You're very unselfish in that, you know, you give of your time, you give of your energy, and you help nonprofit organizations, you know, that while they are paying you for services that you're providing, they're reaping the benefits with the amount of members that join their organizations, with the amount of support and donations that they receive through marketing and PR. It's a really powerful tool. So, you know, can you talk to us about your work with nonprofits and maybe highlight one of those organizations?
Right. Well, where you're saying that nonprofits pay me to help them with their PR. Well, yeah. Some do. I'm working with some nonprofit organizations, but when I got started, and as a public relations person, one of the disciplines that you learn early on, if you're trained on how to really truly run a public relations and advertising company, is that nonprofits is just it's a critical piece to every business should be employing it for two reasons. I mean, number one, it's contributing to your community is something that's important.
Absolutely.
So that's really the number one thing. Early on, when I was just getting my business going, I spent a lot of times working really pro bono. There was a nonprofit organization that I basically started working with in about 2010, and it is called Nevada PEP. So it's parents, it's Nevada Parents Encouraging Parents. So this is a nonprofit organization that helps the parents of children with disabilities. It's a support group for them. It gives them all the resources that they need to be able to help their children who have, for the most part, it's mental disabilities.
Oh.
It's a support group for them.
Amazing.
I started working for them pro bono in 2010, and it was a excuse me, it was a very worthwhile experience. We had I had some connections at that time, and we were able to get them tickets to a strip show. There was a show at the Imperial Palace called Matsuri, and I was connected with that show, and I was able to get about 50 of the kids in that organization free tickets to go into that and watch that show, which they had a great time. And I wrote press releases, and I've done all kinds of things. They've been on all my shows and things through the years, and so there is that aspect of me that really loves to contribute to my community. I could go on and on the nonprofit organizations that I've worked with, many nonprofits. And all my radio show, which I've been broadcasting since 2011, I've never stopped supporting nonprofits. As a matter of fact, Corintha, I think that's one of the reasons why I've been able to stay on the air. Mm-hmm. I've talked to you about this is in the time that I've been a broadcaster specifically. This is kind of separate from the PR company, but I've seen hundreds of shows come and go. Mm-hmm. And I think that one of the reasons why I've been blessed with the opportunity to continue to present these shows is because of I've always shared airtime with nonprofit organizations. You've done shows recently with ones that I really appreciate. I didn't even know about these nonprofits. I've always had a willingness to share my airtime with nonprofit organizations, and I don't know. I'm a big believer in tithing, and that, and my faith teaches me that you reap what you sow. When you give, you get. And I mean, that's not the only reason why I do it, but yeah, anyone out there that's in business, if there's something that you're passionate about, you absolutely must contribute to that. In my opinion, to be a true success. All success in business is not measured by the amount of money that you generate. Although, of course, a business has to have money to sustain itself. So it's very important that we generate profits. That's what we're about. I mean, we want you to profit as a business owner out there. But you have to understand that there's other forms of capital in the world other than just cash. And if you're passionate about something, if you believe in something, and I know a lot of business owners, they do a lot of things without anyone really knowing that they're doing it. Mm-hmm. They support baseball teams for kids. They have centers for battered women that they support. They send money. They send time. They spend their time with them. A lot of times they just don't get recognition for it. And I'm a big believer that if you're in business and you're contributing to your community, you should be recognized.
Oh, yes.
For what you're doing.
That's powerful, because I remember going to a restaurant in Seattle, and I remember seeing on one of the reasons why they were actually closed the first day that we saw them. This is like somewhere in downtown Seattle, and we noticed that they were closed for the one day, but we noticed that there was another poster where they were talking about 4 local nonprofits that they contribute to, and I told Doug, I said, Doug, we have to go back to this restaurant. I felt like because I was contributing to them and their business, that they were giving back to the community, and they're reaping what they're sowing, because they're quite busy. They happen to be a really good restaurant also.
Yeah. Well, you have to have a good product. I mean,
yes.
Your service has to be good. Your product has to be good. There's no partnership in the world that is going to replace or marketing business.
Yes.
I mean, a PR and marketing company, yes, we can promote you and put you out there, but ultimately you have to deliver a good service, and it has to be systematic and has to work, and we can make you look really good, though.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I mean, we will make your business shine. I mean, that's what we're all about.
I think one of the reasons why I really like working with you also, Guy, is your level of integrity. And I do feel like if someone came to you with a business idea and said, I really want to market this, but you had some kind of shady feeling about it, which I know has happened to you before. Yeah. And if you don't trust that the product is something that you want to represent, because you know that it reflects back on you, I know that you wouldn't represent that product if you felt like it was somehow damaging or not gonna, benefit the community positively or benefit customers positively.
Yeah, you have to protect your brand.
Yes.
It's one of the things that we teach in PR and marketing is that you it's not going to work when you're representing something that you don't believe in. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to have the total belief. It's a little different being a marketing company because your job is you're really a vehicle to help people get exposure.
Yes.
The more you believe in the product that you're representing, the more effective I found in my experience I am in being able to get that over to other people. I had a few years ago, I had a guy, he hired me as a copywriter, and he was based in another city, and he had found me online, and he said, hey, I want you to do some copywriting for my business. He had a business, he was supposedly a business broker, so he helped businesses to get money.
Is this like a mafia, international laundering money?
Well, I don't know if being in Chicago had something to do with it, but it just didn't feel right. The things he was asking me, I wrote some copy for him, and he paid me for it. And then the things that he was asking me to do, I've had experience with business credit. It was a business credit business company that he claimed he had, and the things that he was promising, I knew they were lies. I mean, I've been around people in that business. It's shady, and I'm not saying everybody out there that does business credit is shady, but there's a lot of people in that industry who are really shady. Mm-hmm. And I just, when that alarm ding 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 ding,
yes,
when that goes off in your head, you can't ignore it because, like Corintha was saying a minute ago, is I'm only as good as my reputation. Mm-hmm. And for me, maybe I could have written some great copy for that guy, and he would have been very successful in swindling a bunch of people out of business credit because I just didn't feel like he had a legitimate business behind what he was saying. And so I said, look, man, I'm just not going to write anymore. And he got really upset because he was offering me more money to do it.
Wow.
And I said, I just can't. I started questioning him about his business. And then at that point, I really knew that we weren't going to be compatible. I've had other experiences like that, but that's one that really stands out for me is that, no, the reason why I've been able to stay in business is because, and I've had really good ratings, testimonials from people. I believe in the golden rule in business. I really do. You have to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I'm a big believer in karma. What goes around comes around. It may not come around in the exact form of what you did to that other person, but ultimately you will have something that happens to you that will be not favorable as a result of representing something that is deliberately deceiving people. Yeah, I'm a big believer in the golden rule in business.
So kind of going off of the golden rule and just in general, I feel like another reason why I really like working with you is because you're so passionate about what you do. It's not just about do unto others as they would have you do unto them. You're passionate about what you're doing in the first place. So how, in terms of, your passion, where did you really find that passion for PR and marketing, and what really led you to want to support businesses here in Las Vegas or around the world?
Yeah, I love it. I love communication.
Yes.
And I love business. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 12 years old. I mean, the first dollar I ever made as a child was through entrepreneurship. And I think that really affects the kind of person that you are. What you do when you're very young has a lot of impact on your future in life. And so because that was the way I earned money, for me, I live a dream because I love communication and I love being in business. I love interviewing people, and I love developing teams, which is what business ownership is all about. So I can be passionate because this isn't a job. Are you kidding me?
You're so lucky, guys. So just one last time, please let's tell the folks out there how they can get a hold of you at Classy Communications.
Well, you can reach our company at our website, classycommunications.net. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and you can get in contact with me at 702-845-6129. And you can tune into this show every week to learn more about the things that we do. You don't so much learn as you see the results.
Yes.
Because many of these people are our clients that we worked with, and we're bringing them success in their businesses.
Definitely, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Guy. When we come back, we'll be with Dee Ennis of Life Matters. We'll see you in a few.